Hello friends, today I am going to discuss about wine cork. Let's start at. Cork is the bark of the cork oak tree, Corcus suberel, which means that it is 100% natural plant tissue. The cork cells, grouped in a honeycomb structure similar to a beehive, are filled with a mixture of gases that, very similar to air, and their walls are primarily covered with suberin, a kind of natural wax and lignin, a three-dimensional microcell that is resistant to microbiological attacks. Other compounds are identified in its chemical composition, although in less quantity, such as polysaccharides, ceroids, and tannins. Harvested every 9 years, without any tree being felled during the process, cork is used to make an endless array of products, from the traditional to the most innovative and unexpected. The main product is the cork stopper. However, not all cork meets the necessary requirements to be transformed into that distinguished product. It takes 25 years before each cork oak tree can be harvested for the first time, and it is only from third harvest, when the tree is 43 years old, that the cork, then known as Imperial Cork, will have reached the high standard of quality required for producing cork stoppers. The first two harvests of virgin cork and secondary cork, as well as the cork removed from the base of the tree, becomes raw material for insulation, flooring, and products for areas as diverse as construction, sports, fashion, design, health, energy production, and the aerospace industry. Cork is extracted by highly specialized professionals, always between May and August, when the tree is at its most active phase of growth, which makes it easier to remove the cork without damaging the trunk. Experienced, qualified, and careful hands protect both the tree and the cork. After harvesting, each tree is marked with the number of the last digit of the year when the cork was extracted. Wine corks are a stopper used to seal wine bottles. They are typically made from cork bark of the cork oak, though synthetic materials can be used. Common alternative wine closures include screw caps and glass stoppers. 68% of all cork is produced for wine bottle stoppers. Corks are manufactured for still wines as well as sparkling wines. The latter are bottled under pressure, forcing the corks to take on a mushroom shape. They are fastened with a wire cage known as a mucilage. Like other cork products, natural wine corks are derived from the bark of cork oak trees. The bark is carefully peeled away and cut into sheets before processing. The oak trees are not cut down, and only about half of its bark is removed at any time. Cork oaks are first harvested at 25 years old and take place every 9 years. After the third harvest, the bark is of sufficient quality for producing wine corks. Portugal is the largest producer of corks at 52.5%, followed by Spain, Italy, and Algeria. The majority of Portugal's production is in the region of Alentejo at 72% of national production. 68% of all cork is produced for wine bottle stoppers. Corks can be made in several ways. Natural cork stoppers are made from a single piece of bark and have the best flexibility, keeping the seal strong for aging wine for over 5 years. Colmated corks are made from a single piece of bark, but have pores filled with glue and cork dust. They are easier to remove from a bottle and are good for medium aging. Multi-piece corks have 2 or more pieces glued together. They are denser than single-piece corks and are not good for prolonged aging. Agglomerated corks are made of cork dust and glue and are dense, inexpensive, and not good for sealing wine for over a year. Technical corks are agglomerated corks with single pieces of cork on either end. Cork stoppers are moisture resistant, are slow to deteriorate. They help wine age and provide a waterproof seal. The stoppers are associated with a perception of high-quality wine, especially as cheaper alternatives are common with lower-cost wine. Because of the cellular structure of cork, it is easily compressed upon insertion into a bottle and will expand to form a tight seal. The interior diameter of the neck of glass bottles tends to be inconsistent, making this ability to seal through variable contraction and expansion an important attribute. However, unavoidable natural flaws, channels, and cracks in the bark make the cork itself highly inconsistent. In a 2005 closure study, 45% of corks showed gas leakage during pressure testing, both from the sides of the cork as well as through the cork body itself. A study conducted by PricewaterhouseCoopers and commissioned by the major cork manufacturer, Amorim, concluded that cork is the most environmentally responsible stopper in a 1-year life cycle analysis comparison with plastic stoppers and aluminum screw caps. Wine corks cannot be reused as wine corks due to bacterial concerns, but they can be recycled into many other useful objects such as corkboards, coasters, flooring, and used for all kinds of craft projects. While many synthetic corks can be recycled at home, natural corks can either be composted or recycled at specific stores. Companies partner with stores to accept used corks and recycle them into other products. Recork is the largest of these companies in the United States. Corks can also be recycled through Cork Forest Conservation Alliance. Sparkling wine corks are typically 30 millimeters in diameter and 50 millimeters in length. When pushed into the bottle, the corks are compressed to about 60–70% of their original diameters. The corks are held in place by wire cages known as musellets. Sparkling wine corks are mostly built from 3 sections and are referred to as agglomerated corks. The mushroom shape that occurs in the transition is a result of the bottom sections being composed of 2 stacked discs of pristine cork cemented to the upper portion, which is a conglomerate of ground cork and glue. The bottom section is in contact with the wine. Before insertion, a sparkling wine cork is almost 50% larger than the opening of the bottle. Originally, the cork starts as a cylinder and is compressed before insertion into the bottle. Over time, their compressed shape becomes more permanent, and the distinctive mushroom shape becomes more apparent. The aging of the wine post-disgorgement can to some degree be told by the cork, as the longer it has been in the bottle, the less it returns to its original cylinder shape.